Good morning. I would like to extend warm greetings to all of you today. I am Loren Miyasaki from the Enmanji Buddhist Temple, welcoming you to our November Shotsuki Hoyo Memorial Service. Today's service honors family members and friends whose anniversary of their passing is in the month of November. We honor their memory at this special time. Remembering our loved ones makes us realize that the foundation upon which our life is based was actually created even before we were born. It also allows us to realize the new life that unfolds before us. When we think of this in this way, Shotsuki is a joyous gathering and a celebration of the life that we are able to enjoy today. Today's service will be conducted by our supervising minister, Reverend Dennis Fujimoto from the Buddhist Temple of Alameda. Sensei will now present the Hyobyakumon.
Hyobyakumon. Today, on this occasion of our Shotsuki service, members of the Enmanji Buddhist Temple have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved.
I will continue the service by reading the names of the November Shotsuki Hoyo honorees. Keiko Hatanaka, Tamayo Hirota, Shina Horita, Uichi Kamioka, Takashi Kawaguchi, Yumekichi Kawabata, Mitsuto George Kawaoka, Seiso Donald Kobayashi, Yoshino Matsumoto, Tomo Okamoto, Ichitaro Shigematsu, Sachie Shimizu, Tamezo Takanaka, Shiichi Taniguchi, Suruichi Wakino, Hisano Yamamoto, Teru Yasumoto, Gary Paulson, Charlotte Richards Yoneda, Chikuyo Okazaki, Yoshiko Otani, Esther Mukaida, Reverend Inshu Yonamura, Richard Totman, Juliana Leong Song, Henry Hideo Shimizu, Arthur Shigeo Sugiyama, Sueko Sakaguchi, Mark Mitsunaga, Reverend Giko Abiko, Margaret Wallman, Makoto Sam Okubara, Walton Wood, Yasuo Wada, Azuma Cleveland, Keiko Ishii, Kaz Mukaida, Yoshiko Yamasaki, and Perry Rittenauer. Namo Dabuts, Namo Dabuts, Namo Dabuts, Namo Dab, Namo Dab. Reverend Fujimoto will continue the service with chanting. For those of you who would like to join in with the chanting, a PDF copy of the Purple Shin service book can be accessed from the same site as this service. Today's chanting will begin with Sanbujo, found on page 24 of the service book, then continue with the first 10 pages of Amida Kyo on pages 103 to 113. This will be followed by the Nembutsu Echo on pages 134 and 135.
With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Ni 大祝に自分を長老者利法十世裁法果樹万六分道う世界妙安極楽合道無分合阿弥陀根現在説法者利法移動が光明意極楽合国修上無宿単住昇楽光明極楽利法極楽国道修南樹七十羅網七十五樹改正司法修相異尿税公非国明安極楽者利法極楽国道無執法知悪毒水十万五中地帯順に根社富士四辺街道根言瑠璃あり五条上老各役位根言瑠璃あり社公釈襲名の二言直視地中蓮華大尿車輪小式小公大式陽公釈式釈公白式白公微妙公見者利法極楽国土長寿尿税功徳将軍無者利法非部国土調査天学黄金二次昼夜六時二遊万だらけ 五国修上上位昇誕各位英国上修明家供養他法10万6分即位直時検討本国門直教業シャリ法国ら国土上重尿税空毒将軍不死シャリ法非国上中重奇妙座式市長白国弱オムシャリ下領便が愚名市長聖書州長長や六時水和慶音五音年長五根公力七宝大文那小道文尿税東方合同修上門税音に開出念仏年法戦争シャリ法尿物医師長実税祭法省少々医者が非部国土無三幕州シャリ法合部国土商務三幕道司名画教実税所州庁改税阿弥陀仏抑量法音川流園芸少佐チャリ法非部国土未付水道小法五十牛法ラモ水未明音非尿百戦中学同時空差音税音社会事年上念仏年法年相指針シャリ法合部国土長寿尿税空毒将軍
At this time, we will hear a Dharma talk given by Reverend Fujimoto.
Namanda, 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 namanda. Good morning again, everyone. Let's begin today with the reading of this wasan. Please join me in Gassho. The light of wisdom exceeds all measure, and every finite living being receives this illumination that is like the dawn. So take refuge in Amida, the true and real light. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. This wasan is from the Hymns of the Pure Land, and in this wasan, in praise of Amida Buddha, it presents the light of wisdom that exceeds all measure. This wisdom is not our own knowledge, but the pure, non-discriminating mind of Amida. It is the wisdom of samadhi stillness. Every finite being means each of us, with our limitations, our flaws, our attachments. Each of us receives this light of wisdom, and for this reason, we should take refuge in Amida, the true and real light. The light that reveals our flaws is at the same time the light that brings truth and acceptance. So today, I have a story from old Japan, and it's about a very poor, uneducated day laborer. So he lived in an old shack. This was his home, and he didn't mind living in this shack, but what he really wanted was to find someone that he could love and get married and share his life with. So he was always hoping and dreaming and that he would be able to meet someone special to join him in his life. But he thought there would be no woman who would want him as he's living in this poor shack and very sad and poor conditions. So he wanted to improve his lot in life, and he worked hard trying to save money and to improve, maybe to get a better home, a bigger home that two people could share in, and this was his driving force. He really wanted to make things work in his life so he could have what he really dreamed about, that he thought would complete his life, to find someone to share his life with. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to make things better. It was so difficult to save enough money, and he was so limited just working as a day laborer, and just couldn't seem to make the improvements that he wanted to make. So finally, he decided he's got to have a different way, a better way. And so he went to the marketplace and he bought this very cheap statue of the goddess of happiness. And he thought maybe, just maybe, he could pray to this goddess and his life dreams would come true. So morning and night he would give his prayers to this goddess and expressing his deepest wishes to find someone to share his life with. And he did this every day for 3 years. But nothing happened, continuing to do his work, struggling, making ends meet barely, and nothing was improving, and he was getting more sad, more despondent in his conditions, and he finally started thinking maybe he just didn't want to live this way anymore. Maybe he should just commit suicide, just kill himself. And he had these kind of thoughts in his mind, and even to the extent of how should he do it, thinking about this way or that way, and wondering if he should or if he could do this. And as he was having these thoughts, one evening he was sitting in his little home and there was a knock on his door, and he kind of ignored it. Maybe they'll go away, just don't bother him now. And the knocking was persistent. So he went to the door and answered the door. And as he opened the door, this beautiful young lady was standing at the door, and she had dazzling eyes and just the nicest smile, and personality was just bubbling over her being. So he was looking at her and said, "Who are you?" And so she told him, "My name is Kisho. I'm the goddess of happiness. I've heard your prayers over 3 years, and so I decided to answer your prayers, and I'm here.
I'm here to meet you and to join you to become your wife. And he was just stunned in looking at her, and he felt so full and happy that to have his dreams answered. And he wasn't sure if he was living his life or is he dreaming about this. And he's looking at her and finally, please come in and we can talk. And so as he welcomed her in the door, she turned and speaking to someone else, and he overheard this, and she's inviting her sister, let's go in together. We'll go into the house together and we'll talk to him. And so the man asked, who are you talking to? So this is my sister Kokuji. This is my sister Kokuji. She's the goddess of unhappiness. And so they both came in, and very different from Kisho, the second, her younger sister, Kokuji, the goddess of unhappiness, was not so good looking, even toad-like, even ugly. And so she was not so attractive, and so the man was wondering, what kind of person this was, and she didn't have this nice smiling personality, and he wasn't sure if he wanted them both in the house. And so he said, couldn't you just ask your sister to wait somewhere else, and we could talk and discuss everything and get to know each other. And so the goddess of happiness, Kisho, said, oh no, we go everywhere together. She's like my shadow. Wherever I go, she will be with me. And so we come together. And so the man was stunned that he felt so happy to meet the goddess of happiness. But then she has her sister, the goddess of unhappiness. And so both of them are standing before him, and he didn't know what to do. He was just frozen, and the idea coming to terms that I have to accept both of them, not just one, but both of them. So this is the story, and in the story, I think we can take that the light of Amida shines upon everything. So the whole spectrum of happiness and unhappiness, good and bad, right and wrong, this is revealed and exposed. So not just one thing that we might prefer to have, but there's a whole spectrum that we might not notice, might not want to see. We focus on one and not the other, but they all come together. And so this whole spectrum is revealed and exposed. So not to look at one over the other. And the light that shines, the light of Amida, shines upon the truth, and the truth is both ends of the spectrum. So with this interesting story, please join me again, and we'll read the quote, the wasan that we began with. So please join me in Gassho. The light of wisdom exceeds all measure, and every finite living being receives this illumination that is like the dawn. So take refuge in Amida, the true and real light. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Okay, thank you very much for letting me share this interesting, fun story from old Japan, and joining us for this Shotsuki service. At this time, I would light the incense, so please come up at your homes to conclude the service, and things should be ready, so to please come up again for Oshoko to conclude this service. I would like to thank everyone who has participated in this service, and everyone who has helped to set up, our chairpersons who have joined us, and all the preparations that have been done to prepare the video taping and editing and lighting and all these things, the flowers on the Onaijin and all the osonai and all the items placed upon the altar table and each of these things, and thanking the families again for joining us, participating in this Shotsuki service. So let's conclude this service. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Please come up and Oshoko. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
This concludes our November Shotsuki Hoyo Memorial Service. Our appreciation to Reverend Fujimoto for his Dharma talk. We would also thank Sensei for starting the service with the ringing of the Kansho. Thank you to the Toban for the flowers and offerings. Thank you to Mr. Darryl Yagi for setting up the Onaijin. And thank you to Mr. Kevin Iwamura for the videography and editing of the service. If you would like to make a donation to our temple, you are welcome to do so through the Enmanji website, and you can also mail it in. Our address is on the website as well. We would like to thank all of you for watching this service and hope to see you again soon. Until then, please stay safe and well. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Amida, Amida.